All right, what's going on, everybody? We've got a warpless NES Trilogy race today between Stewie Cartman and roopert83. I'm the Haxer, and I'm joined in commentary today by Teeks. How's it going, man?
Good evening, everyone. How's it going, Haxer? So, before we get started, just some background on these two very accomplished runners. Rupert is the world record holder for the Super Mario Brothers All-Stars, all 5 warpless categories, his third in NES Trilogy with a time of 1:43.51. Stewie Cartman is the current world record holder for the NES Trilogy warpless with a time of 1:30.3, and he's the top-level SMB3 runner who just broke the sub-52 barrier in warpless in December of last year. It is worth noting that the donation incentive was met, so SMB3 will be upgraded to 100%. With that in mind, this race should clock in around roughly 2 hours, give or take. And I've had the pleasure of watching their progress closely on their respective streams over the past several months. And I can assure you these two heavy hitters are going to put on a heck of a show, so get that popcorn ready.
Yeah, for sure. I think Rupert has a bit of an advantage in SMB1, although Stewie has definitely improved a lot. He just got a pretty good PB recently, so he's sub 1930 now. But I think Stewie should have the advantage in the next 2 games, at least based on his times. But I think they're both kind of like, SMB2 is probably their shakiest game, I'd imagine, of the 3. So.
And SMB2 is a very punishing game. Like, even the slightest input, just like SMB1, can really cause you a good chunk of time, and it's very easy to die in that game. And just transitioning from one game to the next, it's such a huge difference in the mechanics to adjust to on the fly. But yeah, considering that both of these games are roughly about 20 minutes or so, and they're both have a very good idea of the strats, I would imagine their time discrepancy can definitely be equalized by SMB3.
Yeah, for sure. Where I think Stewie has a pretty good advantage, although I'm not sure how much he's run 100% lately, so we'll see.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Rupert's been running it all the time, so he's very familiar with everything and doesn't have to worry about, accidentally missing a hammer bro or something, or a level.
All right, so it looks like both the races are off now. So as we start off with World 1, both of them are probably going to want to start powering up as soon as they can. And while it's technically more optimal to get your mushroom and the fire flower in 1-3 and 1-4 respectively, it's much more dangerous to run through 1-2 as Small Mario. And you don't want to risk taking deaths early on, especially in a race setting. So it looks like Rupert got the mushroom, but it looks like Stewie's going to try to brave this one out.
Yeah, we'll see. He might just grab the mushroom in 1-2 here, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what he plans on doing.
I have a very good idea, but I don't want to spoil it.
Alright, he's going Small Mario. Interesting. So, kicking the shell. Okay. So yeah, that jump right there in that section is the worry when you go with Small Mario. So Stewie doing the pipe jumps too, and does it pretty well, actually.
Yeah, very nicely done indeed. Yeah, it's worth noting that as soon as you exit the pipe in this game, you have 6 to 7 in-game timer units before you reach the flagpole, and that depends on how you build speed before climbing the stairs. So it is faster if you build acceleration by running over the first step to make the first jump, as opposed to jumping directly from the pipe. So players can calculate their ending time accordingly in case they need to avoid any fireworks.
Yeah, that's a good point. They both did a good job of avoiding there. Oh, Stewie missing the jump there. Yeah, that's a really tough jump. So he's trying to land right on the edge of that platform and then get a quick power-up grab from that block. So taking an early death there, but I mean, it is World 1, so it could be worse.
Looked like he tried to decelerate at the last minute and then he just rubbed the block and just couldn't recover. But I mean, and we still have a very long marathon ahead of us, so he still has a chance to catch up here. It's no biggie.
Absolutely. And so yeah, Rupert's very familiar with probably this frame rule he's on, to be honest, so he'll probably have some idea what he's getting from Bowser there, and he just runs through that stage without any issue. Stewie forgoing the fire flower there. I think he's going to go for small fire here. So he's going to take damage and grab the axe at the same time in order to then run through the game as like a small version of Fire Mario once he gets that power up. So it'll allow him to avoid some of these obstacles that are in the way.
Even though he looks big here, he still did technically power down. So even if he did take a hit as Big Mario, he would actually take a death there. So we saw him grab the mushroom there. He did shrink, and now he's going to be Small Fire Mario. And having that smaller hitbox will definitely help him in some of the stages where you have to navigate through narrow passages like 2-2 and 7-2, where you have to swim past bloopers and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. Fire Mario doesn't have a small sprite for shooting fireballs. So when he shoots the fireballs, you'll notice he'll have a split second where he'll become Big Mario. It's kind of interesting. He's showing his true power level.
You were saying before how Rupert knows what frame rule he was on. I think it's important to elaborate on that a little bit. There's technically no RNG in SMB1. Everything from the way Bowser moves to how high the Potoboos jump or how the bullet bills fire are all influenced by frame rules. And what that means is the game only checks to see to send you forward every 21 frames after completing a level. So depending on what frame rule you start the next level on can influence what kind of enemy patterns you get.
Yeah, that's particularly helpful in levels like this one, for instance, where, you know, the fish can be kind of random in terms of where they're at. But if you know what you're expecting from them, you'll always get essentially the same thing. I know sometimes you can get like a troll blooper at the end in the other water level later on. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty consistent. And then obviously these flying fish patterns will be consistent too, depending on the frame rule you're on. So the less mistakes you make, you know, the more idea you have where you're at. Whereas, you know, Stewie's made a few mistakes right now, so he probably doesn't know what patterns he's going to get, but there are safe ways of doing these levels too that are going to, you know, guarantee him safe passage.
So it looks like he took a hit from that cheap right there, so he's going to have to backtrack a little bit more for those power-ups. Very dangerous to do, especially on a level like this, where you can just get sniped by the cheap before you have a chance to react.
Yeah, this game's kind of brutal. Once you lose that initial power-up, sometimes it's really hard to get fire back. You know, you're constantly just trying to grab power-ups for the rest of the game. So it looks like he has a really good opportunity to get fire back here. And, you know, he'll probably be right back on track once that happens.
Rupert has a really nice fire kill on Bowser. He was able to finish off 2-4 with the 261, something you definitely love to see. So 3-1, this is not an overly complicated level, at least not in the beginning. But once you make it past the Hammer Bros, you want to be a little careful with where your jump placement is and make sure you're wary of your position on the stairs towards the end. You'll be greeted by those two Koopas ready to troll you. So at the very least, you want to shoot one of them from the air and then jump over the second, or shoot both.
And then he gets a nice breather stage here. 3-2 is pretty straightforward. You just gotta, you know, jump on some of these columns, but that's about it. There is one despawn that I think we're gonna see that was discovered by Goofy Chocobo. Yeah, sure enough. Thank you, Goofy, right there. So normally there'd be 3 Goombas at the end of 3-2 there, but because he killed the specific enemies before that, it only spawned 2, so it just makes that jump a little easier. You can still do it with 3. It's not that hard, but it's more free, I guess, to get the despawn.
It looks like Rupert didn't try to go to jump through that platform at the beginning of 3-3. Yeah, I don't really understand how it works, but if you're standing as Mario and you don't slow down for any reason, you can just phase right through that first platform. I don't even think it's a pixel perfect trick either.
No, it's not. It's kind of just like swag too, because it doesn't save you time or anything. So
yeah.
So this level gets interesting in 3-4. This is where knowing what frame rule you're on becomes really important, because these Potoboos do random things. So he's just going to take it a little safe there. If you do that nice turn back, the Potoboos will kind of get out of your way, and gets a nice Bowser kill again. So 259 is pretty solid for that level, considering.
You love to see backwards Bowser. It gives you a good opportunity just to lean up against that platform and then just keep spamming away from a safe distance. And it's very easy on your muscle memory.
Yeah, absolutely. You might notice too sometimes it takes less than 5 fireballs to kill Bowser. And that's because Bowser actually has 2 hitboxes. So if you shoot fireballs in a way where it hits between the 2 hitboxes, you'll actually get 2 hits for 1 fireball. So sometimes you can take him out in like 3 fireballs.
I think Stewie was able to get him in 4 fireballs just now.
Thank you, Stewie. Thank you for proving my point.
All right, so there's not really going to be too much going on in 4-1. As long as you don't slow down for any reason, those Lakitus and Spunnies aren't going to hit you or anything. It's just an open space, just keep running, and then, yeah, you're pretty much done. So it looks like Rupert's taking the upper route for 4-2.
Yeah, he's going the correct route. Nice job, Rupert.
It's worth noting that if you take the top route, it is safer in the sense you don't have to worry about sniping up piranha plants or jumping across the pipes. However, you do have to duck slide back down to the ground to reach the exit, and in doing so, you do temporarily lose a couple of frames, but it's not enough to put you outside the 21 frame window compared to doing the bottom route. So because that frame rule system is in place, you don't lose any time in terms of how the game is played. So if either playthrough of the level is done optimally, top or bottom will put you on the same bus, so to speak.
Yeah, did we explain? It's every 21 frames that you can actually leave the level. So, yeah, if you have, if you have like 19 frames left over till the next bus leaves, then you have to wait the 19 frames. So it doesn't really matter in that regard. So,
speaking of frame rules in buses, if you play 4-3 without slowing down at all, and then you jump through a very specific 2-frame window at the end of the level where that last elevator platform is, you'll drop 1 pixel above the block, and in getting that, you'll save 2 frames walking to the castle, which is just enough to save a frame rule and get on that earlier bus. It's very cool if you can get it, but it's undoubtedly very difficult to nail on a consistent basis.
So Rupert taking out, which I think is the trolliest Bowser in the game, the 4-4 one. You got the fire bar and the Podoboo really close together, and if he goes forward, it makes that fight pretty difficult. But thankfully, it looks like he moved backwards there. So this level's also notorious for having a clip that you can execute, and that sort of stuff requires, subpixels, and those in this game require you to move in very specific ways to get specific ones. So yeah, Stu sees the forward Bowser, just goes right under him, very easy, has small fire there, and takes him out, no problem. Saves a little time on Rupert there, actually.
It looks like Rupert didn't get trolled by the bullet bill in 5-2. They're still very much within striking distance, maybe 30 or 40 seconds, give or take.
Yeah, in 5-1, we saw at the end there's those 2 Koopas. That's another frame rule thing. They'll just do random things, so if you don't know a frame rule you're on, you just kind of have to react to what they do. And thankfully for Stewie, they did some weird stuff where they were going backwards. I don't know.
It looks like the bullet bills have been pretty generous to Rupert here as well. At the last minute, as
really
those platforms.
Yeah, 5-3 is another notorious stage in this run because of the bullet bill patterns you can get. You can always get past them, but some of them are significantly easier than others. And we're going to see him pause there for 292, and that's on purpose to get Roy L. Goodbars here, which means he can just pass these fire bars safely without having to slow down. And because it'll always give you the same bar pattern there.
And we got another backwards Bowser too, so being able to finish 255 in level 5-4, that's actually really good.
And Stewie not taking damage at 5-3 either. You love to see this, man. That level can really mess with people.
It could really throw a wrench into a really well-paced run back in time. Stewie's going for the 292 strat as well. Gets the Royal good bars.
And as you see, yep, easy bars right there. And then, yeah, they both kind of slow down for these Podoboos because, unfortunately, those don't care.
You could have had the option to YOLO them, but you don't know once you get to that point if it's going to be high or low, and you don't want to take a gamble of losing the power down because you really do need it for these last 3 worlds rather.
Yeah, and we have Rupert playing what I think is actually the most fun stage in the entire game. I love this stage, 6-2. You get to take out a lot of these piranha plants, and it's really fun to just play this stage optimally because it's really challenging. So
It's definitely a pain to learn, but as soon as you know where everything is, it's really satisfying.
So you got a firework there, but it doesn't matter. When you get one, it's still faster to just grab it at a 1 rather than wait to 0. Or just as fast. I mean, it's yeah, I think it's always faster or just as fast, so it doesn't matter.
Rupert barely just went too far with the...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He got really close to the edge of that platform. I thought he was going to fall off.
Yeah, I saw you use the spring there for a little bit of safety too, because sometimes you get that troll it build pattern at the end. This is another stage where you can, so he always gets consistent bar pattern through that section. Oh, he just jumped early there. So what he did is you can always duck under that first potaboo no matter what frame rule you're on, and then you pause and wait for the fire bar to let you pass after that. And once that happens, you can always make it through safely. Stewie should have an easier time with that since he's small Mario, actually.
I feel like he overshot the springboard jump, but he was able to recover really well. A little bit careful.
So yeah, he really... Oof. Oh, man. So scary. He really wants to grab this power-up. He's not going to... Oh, man. He's not going to have too many opportunities here. So he's going to have to play 7-2 without fire, unfortunately, because... Yeah, there's another power-up here at the end, but it's going to be a mushroom. The good news for Rupert is he can at least re-grab fire in 7-3. There really aren't too many opportunities from this point to re-grab fire, so it's really important to keep it in 7 and on.
I mean, you do have another opportunity to grab both a mushroom and fire flower in 8-3, but that's really far away, and that's really going to slow you down if you have to play carefully. You know, as small Mario in 8-1 and 8-2. You can do it because he does run any percent. You don't want to make things more difficult for yourself than you need to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any power up in 8-1, and then 8-2's just got the 1, so... So I believe he did the glitch swimming at the beginning of this level, so if you touch the bottom of the floor and you duck, and then you start swimming, it'll actually half your hitbox. So even though he's big Mario, he has the hitbox of small Mario.
That's going to come in handy once you get to the swimming section in 8-4 as well. And luckily, Rupert didn't have to deal with any blooper guarding the exit pipe, so he's just able to get right in there.
Yeah, that's a really challenging level to get through without fire, without taking damage, so kudos to him for staying on track here. And yeah, sure enough, gets the fire back. Important, because now he'll be able to get the fire kill on Bowser here in World 7 too. Great job reacting to the flying fish there, knowing that they're doing those small jumps. So he's got to do the tiny little duck jumps from platform to platform there. And we see 7-4 here. This is one of those puzzle stages. We didn't mention that in 4-4. That was another puzzle stage. So you have to play this level the exact way he's playing it right now in order to actually make it to the end. So unfortunately on the NES version you don't get the dings that tell you if you went the right direction, so you just have to memorize it.
That's a good point as well. Rupert fully equipped with the Big Fire Mario. He should have no problem getting through 8-1 with the flagpole with the 200 on the in-game timer. So he did a double stomp on the Koopa there and spawned the Goombas, which gave him an easier time just getting through the fencing area.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot. This is another reason why keeping fire at the end of World 7 is important, because you lose a significant amount of time taking this level safely without fire. So both having fire here is really good. And Stewie kept up the pressure despite the early death, so I think he's actually gained a bit of time since the early mishaps.
Duck jumping just to avoid the Lakitu and the Spiny. So similar to 7-1, you're just gonna avoid all the platforms and those bullet bill cannons. So he's gonna want to be a little wary about where those Koopa placements are. Does he get the good Koopa pattern? No, unfortunately, but still ends off with a 339. So I think he made the best of the situation without a doubt.
Yeah, good point. And he rubbed that pipe there. You can make that jump without doing that and save a little bit of time, but it's just a safety thing, and also it set up the falling Koopas nicely for him to fire kill. They can be kind of trolly in terms of what they do, so out there, I don't know what the heck those guys are doing.
As you can see from these Hammer Bros,
nice
you can see from A3, this is definitely one of the worst levels to lose a power-up in, so very good to be able to snipe out those Hammer Bros. You saw he rubbed against the block there, so he wanted to get to that flagpole at the soonest possible moment that the clock says 242.
Oh yeah, someone asked if bopping the star in 8-1 changes anything. It actually does. It allows you to save a frame rule, so... yeah, when you play Warpless, you don't have to worry about judges. You'll always save the frame rule as long as you hit the star block.
Couldn't tell if Roopert tried to go for the pipe jump or if he just decided to take the safety block as by default. Alright, so he's doing the duck glitch again so that he could have his hitbox. No problem.
Yeah, passes through safely. Now that he has fire, he's not going to have to worry about if he takes damage there or here. And he gets a forward Bowser, so nice.
Yeah, Stewie got the pipe jump really nicely done.
So I think Roopert got a 1939 or a 1940, which is pretty solid. And Stewie's not going to be far behind here. He's going to be tough to get a sub 20, but he's really close.
I think it takes like roughly 45 seconds to get through 8-4, and I think that they were both in the same level at the time that Roopert finished. So I'd say they're like 20, 30 seconds apart.
20:04. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, 24 seconds apart, roughly. 24, 25.
Alright, so as we're going into SMB2 right now, you have 4 characters to choose between, each of which have their own minor differences in mechanics that come in handy for certain levels as well. Luckily, you don't have to play as anyone other than Toad and Luigi for the vast majority of the run. Toad is especially advantageous for the fact that he runs the fastest when he's carrying an object and digs through the sand the quickest, so we'll see him the most. Luigi hover jumps are helpful to get across a lot of wide gaps and skip over some of the time-consuming parts of the level.
Yeah, they both want to do a wrong warp there, but Roopert missing the throw on the Shy Guy, and then Stewie unfortunately took some damage on the side jump on the Shy Guy outside. So they do that little double jump. When you side jump off an enemy, you have a window in order to do that. So it allows you to save some time rather than just waiting on top of the enemy to do a large jump. And Roopert getting the carpet glitch here in 1-2 allow him to run through the stage really quickly and get to the end.
In 1-2, you typically use either Toad or Luigi, but in Stewie's case, he's using Mario because he's just more comfortable with his mechanics in this particular situation. It's only going to be a 1-second difference off from using Luigi.
Yeah, Mario... Oh, yeah. Mario is like an overall good character. Like, he has a lot of the characteristics of the other characters, just not as good, I guess. So, like, he jumps pretty well. He's, like, decently fast. Not as fast as Toad. He doesn't jump as high as Luigi. But, yeah, he's just an overall solid character.
Alright, so with 1-2 completed, the runners are going to be reverting back to Toad for his speed. The platform hopping is pretty straightforward, and then once we're through the door, they kind of have another crucial clip that's coming up. They'll want to throw the Shy Guy at the right angle and guide it to land at the bottom of the last chain. So they'll be pulling off a clip that's similar to 1-1, so you don't have to spend 40 seconds grabbing the key to unlock the door. So let's see if Stewie gets it. He does. Is he gonna go for the item glitch here? He's gonna grab the power block. And he gets it. Very nice. So once the Sniffet died, what was in its dying state, he picked it up, but didn't at the same time. So he's able to go through the Hawk Head while still carrying the Sniffet. And then Stewie's going to throw the Sniffet at the wall, and then the Ricochet is going to get a 3-hit combo on Mauser, so he doesn't have to chase down those bombs. Really nicely done.
Yeah, I'll save him some nice time there.
Alright, so as we enter 2, we're going to be using Toad for all 3 levels. His speed while carrying the enemies and digging through the sand will especially be helpful here. So he's going to pick up the snake and then run through to get to the pyramid. And as long as you're not jumping or slowing down for any reason, you don't have to worry about the fire flower hitting you. So once we're inside, Toad's going to want to stay on the far right to not only avoid getting sandwiched between a bunch of Shy Guys, but collect a bunch of cherries along the way. And if a Shy Guy drops down on the same layer that you're standing on, it'll automatically move in your direction, so it's important to respond accordingly. So it looks like Rupert got the star, so we'll see if he's able to get the quick kill on Birdo.
Yeah, Stewie doing a nice job with this level, actually. He's going to save a significant amount of time here. He had a really good digging section there, and I think he's going to get the quick kill, too. So he might actually, yeah, he takes the lead here. So you can see how important it is to get that star kill.
And Rupert's iframes expired just right at the last second as he was landing on Birdo's head. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so you'll notice as we're running through this game, Toad's kind of the star of the show. However, the cool thing about all levels in SMB2 is all the characters get used in at least one level, so that's pretty neat. On the any percent run, you just see Toad and Luigi. So, oh, Stewie taking a death there on the snakes. The snakes are sometimes tough enemies to get past.
Snakes are giant trolls, especially here and in 6-1. So once we're in the Toad is gonna pick up another enemy and he's gonna do some more digging. So he's gonna use those iframes with the star just to clear the path that's in front of him, because it's very easy to get sandwiched between the Sniffet and a whole bunch of Shy Guys coming your way. Looks like he got sniped by that Sniffet, but still be able to make it to the Birdo fight.
Stewie if you get close to the star there.
Well, you can't have a star kill for every Birdo fight. You can at least have a reasonably fast fight out of this once you enter the boss arena that incorporates mushroom blocks. So you get a few iframes when you're picking up an object, which allows you to avoid taking damage from the egg if timed properly. And then once you get right up in Birdo's face and then just drop the block at the same time he shoots the egg again, you'll be able to get a double hit on him. World 2.
Doing a nice job avoiding damage there. You'll notice Stewie did some jumps on the ladder there. You can actually, you have a small window to jump with the characters, and Toad's I think is 3 frames or something like that.
And ladder.
I think Luigi's got a 7 frame or something, so his is bigger.
Ladder, chain, and vine jumps aren't terribly hard to do generally, but it's very difficult to be consistent at in runs. You have to be on the left or right edge of the vine, and there's a 1-frame window if you're holding left or right only. And if you're playing as Mario, Toad, or Peach, it's a 3-frame window if you're holding left and right with up. But yeah, with Luigi, it's an 8-frame window. Get away with a lot of mashing.
Yeah, it's you'd be surprised how much time you save over the course of the run, being able to execute those well, so...
That once you get to the end of 2-3, that Toad has full health. So Toad is going to want to do a damage boost here because you see the little tweeter on the same platform where Triclide is. So similar to what we saw with the Mouser fight, just throw him at the wall and get another 3-hit combo on him. Hold off. Let's see if Stewie's able to follow suit. And he's able to get it. Very nicely done. All right, so in World 3, we're going to be starting off with Toad once again. There's not going to be too much going on at the start of this level. You'll knock out the Pidgeot in the second room and then use the carpet to reach the vine. And then once we're up in the cloud, there's going to be a mushroom block there, again, it's used to muster speed while steering clear of the fire flower that's guarding the door to Birdo. So we'll be coming up on that shortly. Yep, there's the mushroom block. Clear the fire.
Stewie taking out the troll shy guy. Rupert actually got the jump on top of him, so that was pretty nice. There's about a 19-second difference between the two after that last boss.
And you'll notice we're at the point in the game where Birdo is going to switch between shooting eggs and fireballs, so it's important to be wary of where you're throwing the mushroom blocks at him. Too, it's not terribly uncommon to see a divergence in characters. I know some people prefer to use Peach because of her hovering jumps allow them to bypass the bottom section of the cave and then just go straight to the door that'll take you to Birdo. But on the other hand, she picks up mushroom blocks very slowly and is a little awkward to handle for boss fights. So it looks like both Stewie and Rupert are going to opt for Toad. He's definitely preferable at times because his mechanics are more advantageous for Birdo fights, and you can use the ladder jump, as we were discussing before, to just walk on the ceiling and bypass having to bomb through a bunch of walls the way you were intended to.
Dang, this is Peach's one level. Feels bad, man. We're not going to see her.
Yeah, Peach got shafted.
Giggity. Ooh, triple egg there. Nice. Easy kill for Stewie.
Up to see it. Alright, so as Haxon was mentioning before, Mario isn't really the fastest runner or the highest jumper, but he is one of the most well-rounded characters in the game. And it's going to be important that that you make use of both of those mechanics, especially when you're doing the climb along those platforms in the tower. So he took that ninja with him because he needs to reach that higher elevation, and then he's going to want to scoop around a lot of those shy guys that are guarding each of those cliffs. So Rupert's doing a really nice job, and really carefully.
It's interesting that this level is the only level in the game where Mario is by far the fastest, because as I was talking about earlier in the run, overall, you know, he's just a solid character, but this is a stage where you need to be able to go fast, but also jump relatively high, so he actually works out quite well for this one.
Ooh, it looks like Rupert took a death just now. That's going to put Stewie back in the lead.
Looks like they're even, basically. Oh, so we missed the jump there, so Rupert just with a slight lead here, I think, right?
So as we enter the boss arena, this is going to be another Mauser fight, but this time it's going to take 5 bombs to knock it out instead of 3. So interesting to note, there were some testers that recently discovered that you could save 10 seconds in this level over the traditional route by re-entering the door that they came out of, and then collecting a whole bunch of cherries to grab a star, and then if they're able to pull off a frame-perfect wrong warp glitch, they can carry that star to Mauser for a quick kill and bypass the fanfare at the same time. And the best part is that it's not only RTA viable, but it works on all stars as well. So it wasn't applied in this run because obviously of how risky it is, but it's still a very interesting thing to note. It's actually incorporated in both I Love Mario and Cool Kids records.
You mean the human tasses?
Yes, the human tasses. And 4-1, this is going to be a pretty straightforward level. You could just grab a flurry right in the beginning and then just use it to carry you straight to where the rocket is. And then, yeah, just some more platform hopping and then you'll get to the orb. There's no Birdo fight or anything.
Yeah, I was just talking about this before the run. Sometimes you can save time on these rockets because there's a fast cycle and the slow cycle. And it seems to be, I don't know, it's time dependent based on when you get there, so
So he'll be able to grab one right away, and then be able to leverage that speed to get across to the whale room that's going to be coming up. Definitely one of those levels where it's very easy to drop an input and fall to your death. So you just want to make sure you don't get hit by the whale's blowhole water.
Yeah, these little guys at the beginning are trolly too. You'd assume when you're small, you could just like run under them, but you actually have to duck when you're small as well. Otherwise, they'll kill you.
Gonna call a star. Plenty of iframes to get to Birdo in time to get that quick kill on him. Very nicely done. First cherry, so does he get the star? He does. Nice YOLO jump there, and he's just barely able to grab it.
I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, that porcupine was coming to him, and that was a rough jump.
I call it Stewie Swagman for nothing.
So yeah, this is one of Luigi's levels because he's the only one that can make those jumps. I mean, you can do it with Peach too, I suppose. Luigi faster, so.
And Luigi's definitely a lot more. His loose steering will definitely come in handy when you're fighting Fry Guy, because it's very important that you be able to pick up those mushroom blocks as soon as you can. Looks like Rupert's having a really nice job with that Fry Guy. It's really hard to get optimally on a consistent basis. Gotta hit the...
Yeah, this, oh my god, this boss
no.
is a troll. This is a notoriously trolly boss. Yeah, you can see on Stewie's side too, the flames are just everywhere. Does a nice job cleaning them up though, so Stewie actually taking a slight lead here.
If you're not careful with your timing on the kills on the little mini flames, it's very easy to soft lock on that fight as well. Luckily, we didn't see that from either of them.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I've seen it a few times. It's a sad day.
So both of them are going to be using Luigi for 5-1. There's not really going to be much going on just in terms of fighting enemies, but yeah, as you can see from those wide platform jumps, you can definitely see why those hovers are especially helpful. And they're both entering Birdo at roughly the same time.
So you get some iframes when you pick up a mushroom block, and we see, oh, Stewie taking advantage, but the short throw, come on, man. Where's the Major League arm, Luigi? Come on, dude.
On 5-2.
Yes.
Actually, the first half of 5-2 is really, really fun to navigate through. Enemies aren't in your way, and it's really satisfying just to do the platform hops against the, across some of those chasms. But I can't really say there's anything fun about the Birdo fight that's going to be coming up. It's very RNG dependent in terms of how the eggs and fireballs are shot. Plus, you have the fish that jumps out of the water at you. So it looks like Rupert's handling the vine jumps really, really well.
Shout out to frame windows. Actually, just free. Okay, as I say that, Stewie flubs. I mean, you know, it's, whatever. So I think they've both taken 2 deaths, right? Is that right? So they actually do have to worry about game overs. It's pretty punishing in this game.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. But I mean, at least if any of them get a game over, you would want to do it at the beginning of the world.
Yeah.
Imagine like getting a game over in 5-3 and then just having to start back at 5-1 again. See that? Out of the Birdo fight, they're maintaining their some good social distancing between the fight. They're going to be reverting back to Toad. because he is fast. So they're gonna probably use the bomb here to break open that wall rather than wrap around. Oh, okay. Looks like Rupert's gonna do that.
He's the rapper.
Gotta be really careful when you're throwing this this mushroom block because it's very easy for the B button to lock up and you just can't throw it anymore. I've had that happen a couple times.
So he tried to duck past that little, I guess, vase that was spawning the shot guys. It saves a little bit of time being able to do that, and but it is really difficult and somewhat risky. So yeah, we see Stewie just taking it safe there.
This is definitely one of my least favorite parts of the game. There's just so much coming at you at once, and it's so easy to take damage before that point, so you're very vulnerable.
Yep. And we see Rupert getting the second carpet glitch here. And if you throw that enemy correctly at this Birdo, you can get a triple hit as well. I think there might be a little bit of RNG involved with that, though. I'm not sure.
Looks like Rupert was able to get the nice quick kill on Claw Grip.
Alright, Stewie got the double hit there, so... Oh. Yeah, he's trying to get the... the heart there to get back to big.
Is he trying to juggle the enemy back and forth?
Oh no.
Alright, so...
Okay. Oh wow. That rock.
Just like as was mentioned before with SMB1, enemy and boss patterns are frame rule dependent as well. So, because you're not finishing each level on in a pretty consistent way, there's going to be technically a bit of RNG involved with the way Claw Grip moves around. So it's very hard to get a nice clean 5-hit kill on Claw Grip. So you could lose a good amount of time very quickly. You're just having to do multiple cycles with the rock throws.
Yeah, 6-1 here is a tough stage, too, with all these snakes and a lot of, like, pretty difficult platforming, actually, in the beginning of that. Once they get past that, it's fairly simple. I mean, the Birdo fight's a little difficult, but yeah. And we get to see Luigi back here, so... Oh, man. Rupert having a little bit of trouble there, gets it. So yeah, Luigi allows you to skip most of this level. You'd have to ride on one of these birds normally to the end of the stage, but if you have Luigi here, you can do these jumps and skip pretty much that entire section, so...
Is it just
that's
me,
a
or...
timing-specific thing. Oh.
Just me, or do those birds have some very questionable hitboxes? Because it feels like even when you get to the latter half of their sprite, sometimes it's very easy just to drop in and put on the jump.
Yeah. I think that's true. That was weird that Stewie only got the one bird. I mean, it was the correct one, but yeah, it was weird.
Even though both of these runners obviously know how to do the bird jumps, it's very easy just to do one little thing off, just be a couple pixels short and then just fall to your death. I've seen many good runs die to that level.
Yeah, even top runners make that mistake, so I mean it's good they both were able to make it through that. By top runners, I mean like Cool Kid and I Love Mario.
Okay, so let's see if Stewie's able to get the potion jump over the wall. Get it first try. Easy. What I love about the NES version is that you have those clouds in the backgrounds to serve as a visual cue for when to throw the potion, because I think it's just a clear blue sky when you're in All Stars.
Nicely done on that Birdo fight. You can get the double hit with the mushroom block there, and also block the egg like he did.
Taking no damage on that Birdo is a nice insurance policy for when you're fighting Triclide.
Yeah, it looks like he went for maybe a safer version of the Tri-Glide fight, because there's another way to do it as well that it's a little more risky, but...
He had that damage boost, so he was able to afford being a little more aggressive in that regard. So yeah, now we're seeing those 8-frame windows in play with Rupert with the ladder jumps in 7-1, so we're going to be seeing that a lot towards the end of the game.
Oh, the short throw, man. Like Luigi, what's going on, dude? Using his strong hand, I guess.
These fuzzballs, because they waste so much time when you're trying to do a super jump to those ladders.
Yeah, you can see Stewie got a little bit off on his line, so he had to wait a decent amount of time there for them to pass.
We see Rupert taking a little bit of damage in 7-2, so you might want to be a little cautious as he gets to Birdo. So he's able to get the, I think the 3-frame jump if he was holding up and right on that chain jump.
So normally you'd have to take out that Birdo because the key spawns inside of it, but being that they use the ladder jump to get above the map, it does not spawn inside the Birdo, so they're able to save a lot of time skipping a lot of stage, but also on that fight itself. And taking out the Hawk there without taking damage, good stuff. Stewie having some trouble getting the jump here. There we go.
Depending on how this ward fight goes, this could actually be a legit equalizer, because if they miss any of the vegetable throws, that could I can lose them a couple times just for having to wait for another cycle. Playing a little bit safe with that Birdo, just letting that key take him out.
I believe you
the Hawk
do a
fight
damage boost on the Hawk and get a double hit with the mushroom block, so see what he does there. Looks like
he got the double hit.
He did get the double hit.
Right, so Rupert finishes SMB2 with a 44.57. So we'll be moving on to SMB3 soon.
So yeah, this is good for him. I think he really needed to build an advantage probably going in this game, just based on, I mean, this is the best game, so.
Solid ward fight from Stewie. So he'll be joining Rupert and SMB very shortly. So Rupert's in level 1-2 right now. This level has a pretty finicky strat to gain early P speed, and it requires running up the base of both of those hills in the beginning in order to start building meter. And you'll know the strat works if you're able to get 6 arrows filled as you cross over that first horizontal pipe. It is a sub-pixel dependent strat, so even if you don't get it, it would only save about a second.
Stewie going without the safety mushroom in 1-1. Very interesting. Does work out for him, though.
I can only guess that he's going to go for the safety shell once he gets to 1-3 and then grab the mushroom there.
Yeah, I'd assume so as well. Alright, he's passed his 2 scary jumps. The side jump off the Koopa and the jump off the Goomba there, so... He's probably going to do a shell kick here. Or no, okay.
Oh, for the risky strat, and it worked. Yeah, that'll definitely gain some time on Rupert. Not too far behind, probably like be a level apart.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts to go for that, to be honest.
Yeah, especially in a race setting. Lose about 8 seconds if you take that early death there. 1-4, we're going to be encountering our first auto-scroller of the game, so there's not going to be too much going on in the level aside from a bit of platform hopping. They'll be able to get the raccoon leaf, and that's going to be helpful for getting that easy flight in the fortress for when they grab the whistle.
You can actually get a white mushroom house from this level as well, which you don't have to get for 100%, but for those of you aware what those are, you have to collect like all the coins, or essentially all the coins in the level, and then you'll get this mushroom house that'll spawn, and in this case it's a P-wing for this world.
It's not like a P-wing couldn't be used at an additional P-wing couldn't be used at for a later part of the game. Like, I know that there's been speculation about using a P-wing for the World 6 fort to get an off-screen wand grab, and then doing the 7-1 clip with the tail. But I don't think that's really been implemented in any runs thus.
Well, the issue is the mushroom mouse takes, I think they take 12 seconds, so...
At 13 seconds.
You can't save... Yeah, you can't save enough time.
Alright, so Stewie's going to be going into 1-5, so both of the runners ditch the tail by damage boosting down the hill, and it's actually faster to go through most levels in the game without the tail. And since you have more control over your P-speed that way, the only other times you really see it used are for levels where it's really helpful to make use of flight mechanics, as opposed to levels that make heavy use of running and jumping. So Stewie took a little bit of damage, but that's not a big deal. He'll be able to get a quick mushroom grab that'll cost him about 2 seconds in 1-6.
So he's got a weird ponytail. He actually has to worry about a coin chip here.
Oh yeah, he hasn't fought the Hammer Bro yet.
He's getting a coin at the end of the level too, so he's safe.
Where even in World 1 of the possibility of getting a coin chip, and they spawn when your coin count is a multiple of 11, and the second to last digit of your score matches that coin count. A coin chip can spawn in Worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6. It was never too late to be aware of those numbers.
Yeah, you usually don't see it in World 1. Like, that's probably the rarest coin chip, but, I mean, I have seen it happen. A thought pattern here. They're going to know exactly what they're getting. Rupert choosing to forego the fire kill here. It probably didn't feel comfortable. I think he fought the Hammer Bro before 1-6, so that pattern of this boss can be a little notorious for his inconsistent wand patterns. But I think Stewie, having fought the Bro where he did, he's going to go for the fire kill here.
Stewie's really well versed in how the boss pattern mechanic works, so I think he knows what pattern he's going to be on, so he'll be able to take it a little more aggressively and save about 2 or 3 seconds. Yep, he got the optimal pattern, so you know he nailed it when he has the 2:45 on the timer.
Okay, and jumping for the wand, just losing time for no reason. So yeah, jumping for the wand is slower because it takes longer for this animation or this cutscene at the end for Mario to fall. There is one exception. If you grab it off screen, then it instantly ends that animation there, and it saves about 4 seconds. So really hard to do in that airship because it requires a specific boss pattern, and you have to jump off the boss to get up there, and then wall jump on top of that, and then also grab the wand at the right time. But we'll see some probably attempts at that from Stewie in other levels.
Rupert just wrapped up 2-2, so he'll be making his way over to the fort. And the trickiest part of this level is just right in the beginning, because you have an opportunity to gain early P-speed on the lower level. It's much easier said than done because the level is littered with dry bones, so you'll have to do a really meticulous small jump to steer clear of them. And then sure you don't get frame ruled
Yeah,
in the process.
Rupert, he does the setup in that level that usually allows him to get P-speed. He actually built it too well there and got frame ruled on the platform when he got there, when he lost it. But it just gives him some space over this, or between that first dry bones and the next two. And we see Stewie actually getting the early P-speed there, so good stuff. And you have to fight all the Hammer Bros as well. Should mention that. So getting the early music box there is good for Rupert.
The sooner you can clear those Hammer Bros off the screen, the less you have to worry about them marching around the overworld map and eating up more of your time. Alright, so once we're in 2-3, this level is going to be a good exercise in using medium jumps. So you'll want to stay on the lower end of the pyramid platforms to build that P-speed, and then carefully time the height of your jump so you can stomp out those fake blocks to get to the end of the level. We see Stewie going for a swag strat with the red shell. You can see that it accelerates faster than a normal green shell, which allows him to break open those blocks a little bit faster, saving him a couple frames. We call that the red rocket.
Yeah, you could also see his NES chugging along at like 1 FPS for a while in that level. So it breaks about even because you create a lot of lag frames with the shell, but it does look very cool.
Yeah, up next we have the Angry Sun. It's one of the more infamous levels in the game. You just want to start building P-speed as soon as you can, and then you can use the bushes behind you as a visual cue for when to bypass the tornado. And then the remainder of the level is just a lot of running forward. And as long as you're standing on those rows of blocks between each jump, the sun will never come in contact with you.
Yeah, so Stewie's got some really bad Hammer Bros here. The best case scenario for him is that the bottom one moves up and then the other one moves left, just to guarantee he won't have to be chasing him around the world. But if they both move down, it's going to be, okay, that wasn't the best either. So you don't want one of these Hammer Bros to end up running around the fort or the pyramid, which could happen here, because it's going to mess with his boss kill pattern. It's not a big deal. It's only going to lose him a few seconds stomping the boss, but I mean, ideally, he'd want a fire kill. And also, nice coin count.
Nice.
So thankfully, he switched twice there, so 2 movements in 1, and if the Hammer Bro moves into him, he actually just got amazing RNG, which you never... Okay, I mean, what is this? Honestly. And they both moved backwards, didn't they? What the heck, man?
You want the Hammer Bros to move to the right so that the boomerang exits the screen a couple frames earlier.
Oh yeah, people saw Stewie clip into the floor in 2-4, so it's weird when there's a coin next to the edge of a platform. It's really easy to clip into the end of that platform. Like, you can just do it without P-speed casually, so it happens all the time in that spot.
While Rupert's
and you don't
making
want it to happen.
So while we're waiting on the Morgan airship, Stewie's making his way through the pyramid. It's interesting to note that when you run into a wall while throwing a shell, you have a couple iframes as the shell is ricocheting towards you, which is why you can you just run right through it and then just duck jump past it while maintaining P speed without losing any power ups.
Yeah, so Stewie is set up for a nice boss pattern here. I can't imagine Rupert's going to go for the fire kill since he didn't go for World 1. This one's a little more challenging, so he'll be able to pick up a little more time here again.
One of the good things I like about Fire Kill and Morton is that unless you're getting a really early jump, more often than less, you can just watch his opening movements and then be able to react accordingly on how to approach the fight. Like if he shoots his wand early or if he decides to just walk off the ledge.
Yeah, where Stewie moved to the castle from, sometimes you'll get that pattern where he shoots his wand right away, so you can at least react to it. boss patterns. Very, very consistent.
Looks like Rupert got a pretty standard hundo pattern where he just walked off the platform. I don't think he was familiar with it, so we just decided to take a more conservative approach, which is nothing wrong with that. So will Stewie go for the fire kill himself? We'll see. Got the early jump. Oh, the early one shot. So he got a warpless pattern, but he handled it very well.
Yep. Movement of 2 warpless right there. Good stuff. He's used to that, so takes him out without issue. Unfortunately, he bopped him to the left. He couldn't go for off-screen wand grab, but, you know, it happens. World 3 here. For the most part, it's a fairly easy world. There are a couple strategies, though, in this world that are quite challenging. 3-2 being the first one here that could really turn this race, depending on how it goes for both runners, so...
3-1 is a pretty basic swimming level to start out with. You're just moving forward, steering clear of the blooper, and then making your way over the wall with P-speed. And then you could just skip over like half of the level's water, and then effortlessly make your way to the exit. 2, however, oh boy, this is a level that I'm sure most runners have dreaded at some point while learning the game. And it's very easy to mess up, generally, not only because of the Cheap's ambiguous hitboxes, but you just have very few places where you can safely move around.
Bless RNG. Nice. Okay. So he loses a bit of time there by not getting the P-speed, but not taking damage is the important thing. So Stewie will be able to pick up probably like 5 seconds here with this. And does it flawlessly, so good stuff. And he's going to get the instant rebuild in the platform because, yeah, perfect.
92 pipe, you love to see it. Three is a fun level for...
idea. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. 3-3 is a pretty fun level for P-speed strats. You just start running, and you'll be able to get that meter as soon as you cross over that first small gap. And then you just want to make measured jumps to carry that speed to the end of the level while avoiding the water or getting caught on those spinners. But it looks like Stewie took a little bit of damage there, which is not a big deal. He'll lose a couple seconds on the boom boom fight, but he's going to be powering up to P-wing anyway for 3-5, so not a huge loss in hundo compared to warpless.
Yeah, he'll lose a little bit of time on the hammer bro fight as well.
Going for door 3, and he gets it.
Okay, well, he's not losing time now, so...
That man,
so yeah, he actually went. He broke even, I guess. Yeah, nice stuff.
Door 3 is a frame perfect trick. So if you're able to hold up and if you're able to press up to re-enter the door on the first frame that you have control over Mario, you'll wrong warp to the nearby exit, which is the Boom Boom Arena, and that saves you about 4 seconds.
This is what I was worried about. Gets the water about. Thankfully, since he doesn't have fire, you do want the upper pattern there, so he does get the upper pattern, even if it is slower, so... But yeah, he loses 3 seconds on the boom boom, gets it back by getting door 3, so actually didn't lose any time in that fortress.
So, Dewey and Rupert are literally one level apart now, exactly. So, still very much within striking distance. There's still a whole lot of the game left.
Yeah, and so they'll both be able to pick up fire here again in the auto scroll or 3-6. So they just use this tail of damage boost to get easy early P speed in this level, and you know, of course, he clips into the hill because I mean Mario 3 does a nice job of recovering though. So.
Be entering a level with an auto scroller where you're going to pick up the fire flower anyway. There's no reason why you would pick it up in 3-4.
Yeah, there's no faster way to grab fire in the game than the level that moves on its own.
3-6 is going to be a nice cool-off period just to grab a fire flower and then just start wailing away on some Koopas. It's also one of the more noteworthy levels in the game to highlight some graphical glitches. Like you could turn some item boxes blue or some donut lips green. Like to call them the moldy donuts.
Half a bush into a block.
2.
There we go. Another half block in the sky. Neither of them getting the blue block at the beginning, though. I'm really disappointed. That's important for your run.
You get the blue block, I think, if you're able to hit the block on the first available frame.
Yep.
And so 3-7 is one of the easier levels to get through in World 3, as most of it is just a matter of running forward with P-speed. However, you do want to make sure that you're carefully measuring your jumps by the time you make your way to the spike and the Koopa. The strat entails just stomping either of them and then making your way over to the clouds, and then doing a small jump at the end, and then landing on that wooden block. So it looks like both of them were just slightly off. They took a little damage along the way, so at least, thankfully, there was a fire flower they could just pick up right away, and it's going to be very helpful as they close out World 3.
Yeah, it looks like they both must jump off of enemies in their strat, and those spikes I know are not always 100% consistent in their location, so most people you'll see jump to one of the wood blocks and jump off of it for that reason.
Alternatively, you can do it. You can do a huge leap off of the last available cloud, and there should be a Koopa there you can stomp on, but there's every once in a while it can despawn and screw you over.
Yeah. I think the spikes are on a global timer is how they work. Or no, they're on a boss timer. Yeah, it's a boss timer. And we get to see Boss Bass for the last time.
3-8 is one of those levels you don't really incorporate much P-speed as a strat, so the objective here is just to clear those 2 ice blocks as soon as you can, and then just start jumping immediately every time you come in contact with the water. And as long as you're maintaining consistent rhythm, Boss Bass will get close to you at the very most, but never have an opportunity to eat you.
They met the incentive for 100%, so that's why they're doing 100% instead of warpless. So it's actually NES Mario Trilogy 100% instead of NES Trilogy warpless.
Right, so both Rupert and Stewie were able to get the H jump, very nicely done. So that saved them about, let's say 5 to 7 seconds, depending on how they handle the ice blocks in the leg if they didn't get it. Coming up on the World 3 airship, Wendy Koopa, interestingly enough, is one of the easier Koopalings to fire kill, but the hardest to just stomp kill normally. And it's an easy fire kill because the boss arena is going to be on a flat ground, so that's going to make it easy to measure your distance and shoot fireballs in pairs until she's down. But she's also one of the Koopalings whose patterns you don't have to worry about, because she could be fought the exact same way each time, even if she's not moving forward right away or she decides to jump first. The only downside of having to jump kill her, however, is the fact that she fires off those rings with the wand, and they bounce around the room and they never disappear until she's defeated. So it's tricky to maneuver around them once they're there. And once she starts jumping after that first stomp, it's very easy to get caught off guard and take damage. So I don't think that any of them are going to have to worry about them at this point.
People don't realize how much RNG this boss has until they play like a ROM hack or something, or a randomizer. This boss has a ton of RNG, actually. Rupert going for the stomp kill. Does a good job there, so didn't feel comfortable with his fire kills and on the NES version, I think, because he's been running All-Stars.
I didn't think about that either.
Gets a decent fire kill there from Stewie. Messed up a little bit there. He was slow on one of his turn-back shots, but did recover nicely. You don't want to take damage in that fight because World 3 is really the last world in the game where there's fire pickup opportunities. So We have a couple in World 4, but both of those even losing time, so.
4-1 has a pretty fun P-Speed strat that's coming up. You either want to grab the big Koopa shell or at least clear a path with those fireballs so you can land flush with every surface you run on. And that way you can build P-Speed in time to boost past the waterfall on the upper platforms, and then with carefully timed jumps, just land right in front of the exit pipe. So Stewie takes an alternate approach to what I'm used to, but it's still effective. I gotta give him that. Time his jump so that he could stomp on those Koopas and then just land right in front of the pipe. Very nicely done. 4-2 is another interesting level with nothing terribly complicated going on. But one of the strats is you can do a double kill on the second big Koopa in the beginning to trigger a despawn on the piranhas that come up. And that allows you to drag the white block to the second piranha and allow a clear path for you to run and build P-Speed. And with some carefully measured jumps, you should have enough time and height to land right in front of the exit.
Yeah, and 4-3 here, people love watching this stage because it's very visually appealing. It's surprisingly consistent though. It's not too terribly difficult once you know the path, but it just looks like it looks really neat. Obviously, you're avoiding all these enemies and just P-speeding through this uneven terrain.
All right, so coming up on 4F1, this is definitely one of the most technical forts in the game, and a good safety measure going to that level is to use a star, and that temporary invincibility you have will come in handy if in case you come in contact with the hotfoot candle in the latter half of the level, and as you're executing the P-Speed strat. You also want to make sure you don't bump into any walls, since that will kill your momentum right away and defeat the purpose of the star when you need it most. Little damage along the way.
Impossible. Or, you know, Stewie just does it right, so there's that too.
It's really weird how you
shout
have
out to the hammer, bro. World movements of 4 right there. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, what we're going to be seeing Stewie do is what's a strat that a tasker in the SMB3 community, Mario, came up with. So he wanted to do a duck jump into the water and then do a double kill on the Spiny and Lakitu. It looks like he wasn't able to build P-Speed the way he wanted to, though. So he's going to have to take it a little bit more carefully, and as long as he doesn't take damage, he should still be in pretty good shape. Looks like they're neck and neck as they enter the exit pipe, and Stewie takes a very small lead.
Yeah, did Stewie fight the cloud yet, though? I don't recall. Guess we're gonna find out.
Looks like he did.
Looks like he did, so yeah. And neither of them going to have to cloud over a level to fight the last hammer bro. Feels good, man. Oh, wait, no, Stewie might. Yeah, Stewie's gonna have to. Feels bad. Or he's just gonna leave him there, okay.
Yeah, 4-6 is a really fun level to make use of P-Speed strats on. Not only do you get a chance to boost into the sky off the hitboxes of those Chungus Koopas, but you get a chance to snipe out a bunch of them along with the Piranha plants along the way. And what's also helpful is that in worst case scenario, if you lose speed along the way, you have a safety star that you can pick up midway to get yourself back on track.
4-5 is a good level, as we saw to re-grab fire, even though he took damage again there. Was able to just pick up the fire quickly, so Roopert gonna have fire going in the World 4 airship, which is great. There aren't many opportunities in World 5 to do it, and none of them in the first half of the world are good, so yeah, he's definitely gonna want to keep that for levels like 5-3 in the Fortress.
I mean, technically you can re-grab fire in 5-2 if you go down the pipe, or in 5-3 in the bottom section of 5-3, but they're kind of out of your way and they'll lose a good chunk of time, so you don't want to do it if you can avoid it.
Interesting SAR strat there from Roopert in 4-6. I haven't seen that one before.
The climb in 4-F2, kind of similar to what we see in Lost Levels.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Not like this. And now we're entering the greatest level in the history of Mario speedrunning. The World 4 airship.
Yeah, so right now both of our runners are going to be coming up on the slowest moving airship in the game and one of the longest, clocking in at just barely over 2 minutes. So if you need to grab a snack or use the bathroom, that would definitely be a good opportunity, as they're both pretty much neck and neck at this point. So both of our runners came directly from the fort with no additional hammer bro movement, so they should be able to get a pretty consistent Iggy pattern. I know that Stewie will probably end up going for it.
What? Stewie? What? Coins? What?
Oh no! Wait, what are you doing?
I guess it's okay. He'll get coins in 5-1. I guess it's okay, but it's weird. It just looks weird.
If you start off the next world, it's not going to trigger the coin ship right away, but it will as soon as you finish the next level. So 5-1, there's definitely going to be some coins directly in your path. You'll pick up at least 3 or 4 along the way, so he's fine. Oh no! What happened?
What? I totally missed what happened. Sorry. Did he get squished by the ship?
I missed it too.
Was he going for like the wall or the skywalk or something? He got squished. What?
Wait,
Fell off the spinning bolt. Oh man.
Yeah, that could definitely happen.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Still do this.
A little sketchy on the airship here. Oh, lovely. He's a jumper.
Oh no. Stewie tried to he delayed a little bit going into the pipe so that he can get a movement of 1 pattern, and he was successful in doing so. He had the right setup for it, but he got a little too close to Iggy, and then just shot right into his face. Hate to see it. So yeah, Stewie's inevitably going to lose a little bit of time going into World 5, so I would say one of his best options at this point is to probably take the 10 seconds, just go down the pipe, and just pick up the fire flower there, because he's going to need all the sniping he can do for the first 4 in World 5, and for the beginning part of 5-3, so he can do the P-speed strats properly.
Okay, I just saw what happened. That's rough. The screen or the screen scroll killed him because he fell off the spinner. Stewie not ending up in the lower section of this level feels good, man. So no what is it? The Shaft of Despair or something?
Shaft of Despair. Yeah, I'm glad he decided to go for the 5-2 fire. He's definitely going to be needing it for these next 2 levels.
Yeah, alternatively, he could have used the star and then re-grabbed fire in 5-3 before doing the fortress, but yeah, I mean, either way. That one might be a little faster if you do it that way, but it's if you have your stars, accounted for in other levels, sometimes it's better just save them.
That's a good point as well. He technically didn't use a star in one of the boomerang bro kills in World 2, so he did have an extra one, but I'm pretty sure he wants to have a couple more in his inventory in case he really needs it later on. We got some backward slides going on for 100%. Didn't go for the fire in 5-2, so he's probably going to pick it up in 5-3, I imagine. So he's going to have to be a little more conservative going into, just the first portion. So Stewie's going to be building P-Speed right away. He's going to do his full leaps. He's going to want to land on the pipe. And then he's going to want to bump the wall or the pipe so that he can buffer his meter so that he can carry it with him through the second half of the level. He knows exactly where to jump just to avoid going through those little gaps. And he's able to get some nice shots in. Gets 288 on the timer, so he did it perfectly. Very nicely done. Definitely one of the scarier levels in World 5. And just in 100% overall.
Yep, for sure. Looks like Rupert just going to take a casual stroll through 5-3, or you can get P-Speed there, I suppose. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I didn't think of doing it that way. Hopefully he keeps P-Speed through that pipe. He does. Oh, got frame rolled right at the last minute.
Yeah, he was going to lose it right here anyway, more than likely. I mean, you can make that jump and keep it, but it's really hard to keep P-Speed and grab the fire, so...
Dewey goes for the Sunday sequence break, and he's able to get the pipe glitch in the tower. Very nicely done. Doesn't save you any time, but it looks cool.
In fact, it loses you time because you lose P-Speed.
I think he went for that same trick in the GDQ race.
Yeah, shout out to good sub-pixels.
4 is a pretty straightforward level in terms of execution. That first platform that you're on is just long enough to build P-Speed, and you're going to want to take it with you as you make your way past the spinners and the wooden blocks. That Koopa at the end is always going to be in midair, so you can just run right onto him. So 5-5 has an early P-Speed strat as well that involves doing a turn back on that first block that you stand on and clearing out the Paragoomba to build meter, and then lifting off as soon as you reach those 3 wooden blocks. You just want to make sure you don't bonk into the top block since you'd run the risk of getting a leaf power up, and you definitely don't want that at that point. Firefly was definitely your best friend in World 5.
So we've kind of seen why dying and auto-scroll are bad so far. Stewie's opened up a pretty decent lead here in World 5 by, saving about a minute from that point. So there are places for Rupert to definitely catch up here. I mean, and there are other auto-scrollers. I mean, maybe Stewie will take a death in an auto-scroller. You never know.
You can enter the pipe on the first available frame and then just get squished by the scrolling.
That is true. There's also 7-1, which, I mean, you could enter the level, so that'd be about the same.
I actually did a 100% run just about a month ago, and I just completely forgot about the border crushing you, and I just didn't even think about it. Anyone, even experienced runners.
Gets the single frame jump out of the pipe, too, but without P-Speed. It doesn't save you any time. Oh, Rupert.
Just barely undershot that
Thankfully
jump.
didn't die there. Yeah. I was afraid he was gonna, because the iframes, he was gonna, or the freeze time, he was gonna miss the A input, but does get the A input, so you can get fire back in 5-7.
I lose him about 5 or 7 seconds, but it's not a catastrophe. Gonna go for the Jesus clip. Oh my god, he actually went for it, that madman. Dyson, he was wrong. But he's gonna enter the mushroom house now, so in hopes that he could retrieve a fire flower.
Okay.
Actually, get them. Okay, you could still use the mushroom anyway, and then you could grab the fire flower in a World 5 airship. But it's gonna put him on a different void pattern.
You're just gonna go for it again.
Clip doesn't really save him any time, but it looks cool.
The scary thing about that clip is you can soft lock there.
Yeah, sometimes the pixels can push you up and then you can't get down. Be too much going on in level 5-8. You just want to start building P speed on those first 3 platforms right away, and then as long as you're doing mini jumps on the terminal ends of them, you'll be able to make your way to safety.
Boy.
Oh no.
This is not good. Okay, so Roopert got a coin chip, but he's going to try to squish himself on the screen here. Oh no. Gets another chance.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. That saves him a lot of time versus playing this auto-scroller. It turns it back to Hammer Bro, so he will save a pretty good chunk of time there and gets the bomb. I think that was just, you know, out of frustration, to be honest.
Yeah. For Roopert to grab
Both
the mushroom.
runners playing 5-9 without fire. That first fire chomp, man. As I can... Oh, no. Oh, God. It's not like this. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. I was scared there, man. Oh. It gave me flashbacks back to a certain run.
The second fire jump could be scary, too, if you forget to stand on the right spot for the wooden platform so they could just kind of self-stop itself.
Yeah, Roopert gonna have to play it small, so it's oof. You're always entering the castle straight from 5-9 with no additional Hammer Bro movements, so the runner can safely rely on getting the same pattern when fighting Roy Koopa. But unless you have to lose a couple frames to grab the Fire Flower power up, that could actually rotate the frame rule to the next pattern. So we'll see if how Stewie decides to handle that, if he knows that pattern or not. But yeah, you definitely want to enter World 6 with the Fire Flower because definitely a couple places in 6-1 was right off the bat that you'd have to snipe out some enemies to get through it optimally. Staying calm there on Rupert's side, so that's good. And yeah, just waiting patiently for that fire chomp to just, you know, completely miss everything with his fire shot, and then he's good to go. So he has to be able to get a fire kill pattern here for Roy. Roopert will not get fire. I'm not sure he'd have fire killed him anyway, but in 6-1 he can use a star to at least go through that level quickly, so... I don't think any of them use their stars in World 2 to fight the Boomerang Bros, so they should have one in their inventory for a situation like this, for sure. Yep. And yeah, Roopert didn't use it in 5-3 either, so... So, yeah, as I was mentioning before, 6-1 is going to start off with a pretty tricky level right off the bat. You just want to build P-speed on those wooden blocks. He's able to knock out the Patuis. He's able to maintain P-speed. Kind of got tripped up along the way by rubbing that pipe, but he's able to recover very nicely. 294 on the in-game timer. You love to see it. Yeah, I was a little worried there too because he used the music box before entering the level, and it took a while, so I was worried about his patterns. But thankfully, they were kind of nice. So. Looks like Stewie tried to go for the early P speed, but he got frame rolled along the way. It's very easy for that to happen in this level. Yeah, it happens pretty commonly where he tried to shoot the fireball anyway to take out the Koopa. If you do it one block before that, it seems to build more often, but yeah. 6-2 is going to be another auto-scroller. Again, there's not going to be too much going on aside from a bit of platform jumping on those clouds. This is another good point where you'll have a convenient opportunity to look at your coin count as you round up those last 3 Hammer Bros in the game.
So we'll have one carrying the hammer in the first part of the map, and then you'll have the cloud and star on the opposite end of the lock.
Yep, sure enough, equipping the star. Good choice. Is going to grab the fire there. It's not a bad choice either. But yeah, anytime you slow down this level, these guys are going to do things that you don't expect. So, the unfortunate side effect of the earlier mistake when taking damage.
It's like Ruben made a good choice to do 6-2 next, so we can just grab a mushroom in this auto-scroller level. So he'll have an opportunity to grab a leaf when he's in the fortress, so he'll still have an opportunity to damage boost across the spike bed once we get to that. I would definitely recommend doing the fort first at this, just in case he gets hit by anything in 6-3 or falls off a platform.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too terribly difficult for him to save at least a decent amount of time if he takes it safer even.
So Stewie's going to be going into the second room as Small Mario. He grabbed the star, and he's going to go for the quick kill on Boom Boom. Very nicely done. Little trivia about the Boom Booms. They were never programmed to have a kill state like most objects. It's always meant to be in a normal state. So Boom Boom was given 37 hit points, and killing him with 5 fireballs will set him to 32. And that value is what triggers his conversion into an orb. So when he comes in contact with the star, I believe it set them straight to 0, which is why we get that glitched out upside down orb. It's technically an overkill.
Yeah, Stewie taking a death in 6-4 there, unfortunately. Roopert gonna have to wait out this hammer, bro. Gets the lower pattern because, you know, you don't have fire. Classic. So yeah, unfortunately, it looked like he underjumped his last jump there. And yeah, Rupert's gonna grab this. Ooh, that Potaboo was out for blood.
Oh boy, and now we're coming up on my least favorite level in the game, 6-6. The runner will always by default go in there as Small Mario. You know, just because of the damage boosting that you did in the fort. So you want to take advantage of your small hitbox to maneuver past some of those narrow pathways, you know, past those cheap. And it looks like Stewie was able to get the despawn on the upper piranha plant, so that saves him a little bit of time since he doesn't have to walk underneath it in the water. Before pipe exiting, which is really, really well done.
Roopert had a little trouble getting over that first column in 6-3. You have to land in the middle of the 2 note blocks to get that extra boost over that column. So if you miss it, it's a little tougher with Small Mario than it is with Big Mario for some reason.
A 6-5 is a level where runners can make use of P-speed strats, and the name of the game is to go fast and clear a path for yourself by whipping those Buster Beetles with your tail. And then when you do all that and then run down the hill, Mario musters enough acceleration to trigger a sprite overload, which in turn causes one of the nippers up top to despawn. Normally this is a puzzle gimmick level where you would have to carry a Koopa shell up top to take them out, but this strat allows you to bypass all that nonsense.
I think we're going to see a route divergence here in 6-6 or in 6-5. I think Roopert does 6-6 first, although he could grab the mushroom from this fight. Or is it this fight? No, it's got to be 1 down. Yeah, he's going to do 6-5 first and then go in with the tail in 6-6 just in case he takes damage. He can, if he does lose the tail, re-grab it in 6-7 if he only takes 1 instance of damage. So just doing it a little safer.
I've seen Roopert take that same pathway in his All-Stars runs as well. So definitely go with what you're more comfortable with.
Yep, you don't want to take a death in 6-6. It's a nice 40-second time loss there.
Definitely never killed a run that way. Nope.
Although I find it interesting you hate that level so much. I love that level. It's one of my favorites. It's like SMB3 Vanilla's version of a Kaiser level.
So that explains why you like it.
Oh no, the fish. Their hitbox is a little weird. That's fine, as I said, he can regrab the leaf. He probably won't take another instance of damage here. These are pretty easy to get past if you're just, you know, taking it carefully. The end here might be the difficult part, but looks like he doesn't have any problem there with the nice duck jumps, so. And that is intentional damage from Stewie. He does want to take damage in this level. Because it's going to allow him to go faster in 6-8, so it's kind of cool. In 100%, there's a different route now where you actually grab the fire flower in 6-7, do the fort with a star and fire. It saves a little bit of time overdoing it with a leaf if you do it perfect. And then you keep that fire and you can manipulate your subpixel to do the wall jump in 6-9 as Fire Mario. The unfortunate thing is, if you miss it first try, I mean, it runs basically over because it's really hard to clip in as Big Mario, but there's a pretty wide range of subpixels that work in that level for some reason on the first attempt of it.
For 6-9, Small Mario definitely has a wider range of windows where you can get the wall jump on your first try, and then every turn back after that is going to be RNG.
Yeah. Yeah, your subsequent attempts have much better odds of getting the correct subpixels, so... but yeah, generally in this category you see, as Stewie did there, you P-wing 6-9, and then you take your leaf in the 6-10 and you grab fire here and try to maintain the P-speed. Doesn't get the duck there. Looks like he threw the block a little late, so won't be able to keep P-speed through the level, but as long as he doesn't take a death, which looks pretty good right now, you worry a little bit about that there because you get a lot of lag at the end of this stage, so you really have to be careful with your jump inputs.
And missing that P-speed strat in 6-10 is really punishing because it can cost you up to 6 or 7 seconds. You know, just having to maneuver your way past the wall and then do the rest of the way dealing with the lag, not having P-speed.
Yeah, it seems like when you have P-speed, it lags a lot less, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And looks like both getting the H jump here, so good stuff.
Yeah, Roopert was actually able to save a little time by getting the P-speed strat and the jump over the H, because Stewie got frame rolled when he was making his way past the little hills.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can get P-speed back when that happens, but it's a little bit of a risk, so I guess in this case you just didn't want to risk death. And yeah, once again, also Roopert using the P-wing here in 6-9 and probably going to grab fire in 6-10. I think we're going to see a fire kill attempt from Stewie on this boss, so the reason they grab the fire is it allows them to save 3 seconds in the fortress, and then they can save another 3 here, and then it's 1 less star they have to use as well, because they can then use the fire flower to damage boost and get P-speed in 7-2, so it's a really good power-up to pick up at this point in the game.
I really hope that Stewie isn't going to go for the fire kill approach on Lemmy that I think he might, because there's 2 ways that you can normally do it. There's one where you can just shoot them in pairs when you're just right in front of them, and then the other one is just to bounce along his shell when he's in the stomp state, and then just kind of let him juggle you against the wall. But I think that every time you come in contact...
Oh, sad. I was hoping he'd go for the clip because he took damage.
Yeah, the reason why I don't like the juggle fire kill is because I think there's a little bit of RNG involved with every time you come in contact with the shell, so it could easily boot you off and then lose you some time, and you could get thrown right into one of those green balls that way, and thankfully he didn't take damage.
Yep. Akura seemed to think it was tied to like where the music is. You could jump on there at a specific time with the music, but I could never find anything like consistent with that. So I don't know. That seems like some voodoo witch doctor stuff to me. But there are different types of fire kills you can do in this boss fight that lose a little bit of time over the one that Stewie attempted, you know, assuming it goes perfect, but they are 100% consistent and they'll always work. And I think he tried to do a sub-pixel manipulation there. I don't know if he did or not. I couldn't tell.
No, it didn't look like he did, because I think that he got to where that one section was a little bit late, so he just kind of stopped in place, then did a turn back, and that was it.
Yeah, so in that airship, you can manipulate your sub-pixel in a way that will guarantee you can at least get the clip on the first try in this level. There's still a very tough execution component that goes into 7-1, whether you do it standing or ducking. In the standing clips case, it's a frame perfect jump. In the duck clips case, you basically have to try to duck and jump on the same frame towards the wall. So. And Stewie using a P-Wing here for 7-2. And that'll save him a good amount of time while we're doing the fire strat. I'm assuming he must be planning clip 7-9 then.
Looks like Rupert did a very small turn back at the end right before grabbing the 1, so I don't know if he's going to go for the standing clip, thinking he's on sub-pixel 14 or 15. But we'll see. In everyone, how many times it's going to take before Rupert gets the clip.
Yeah, it's really, the standing clip's really nice because it's just, if you can basically guarantee those subpixels by your small taps. So since most people go with standing clips on subsequent tries anyway, it seems to make most of the tries more consistent. He's jumping a little late here. There we go.
2 tries?
Yeah, I think it was 3. Stewie grabbing the shell here in 7-5, doing the quick grab. Always a little scary, but doesn't take damage there, so that's good. And had to wait there for one of the white blocks, so he didn't kill that second Koopa.
I don't even think I heard any of the ricocheting sounds from the shell, so I think he was able to avoid a little bit of lag as he was passing through the wall.
Oh, if it clips in, it reduces the lag. If you can clip it in the wall, I guess.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, when you get the clip or the shell clips in the wall, it's a lag reduction for some reason. I'm guessing it's because it goes off screen faster, right? And meanwhile, Stewie's in the worst level in the game, so we're just going to ignore it. And Rupert's doing 7-3 here. And this is a very consistent level, not too terribly difficult. You can always get the P speed here. It's a little scary when you're small, but yeah, I mean, it's just really the first jump. From that point, it's the same regardless.
One of the things I like about the end of 7-3 is those Koopas are always in midair, so you can just run right under them as Small Mario. But it looks like Rupert decided to YOLO it and jump over them anyway.
Yeah, the reason, I make the joke about 7-4, this is the worst level in the game. These enemies are RNG in terms of how they decide to move. The spiky cheeps are RNG, in terms of where they decide. And as I'm saying that right there, that's why. So he takes damage there. Not a big deal. He'll be able to just cloud over the fortress, do 7-6, then go back to the fortress. But yeah, when you're going for PB attempts, stuff like that, when it happens, is pretty devastating.
Having to shuffle around the levels like that can cost you a little bit of time, and if you're playing 100% at a really high level, you need every second you can get, since RNG isn't going to play as much of a factor as it would in Warpless.
But yeah, thankfully, this level, it doesn't affect too much. You just start and do the jumps basically the same, although you don't go over that gap. That's the nice thing about having the tail. You can just kind of, float over the gap there. but pretty good stuff from Stewie. So and as I said, RNG enemies, boom, taking out both the leaves.
As Haxer said, is going to use his P-Wing just to fly over the wall, and then he'll be able to use his tail to build some flight to finish off 7F1. Yeah, it's definitely a better alternative to doing the levels in order that way, because you would lose a hell of a lot of time just having to go into the secret room to grab a Tanuki suit. So you also have to wait for that P-switch cycle as well.
Yeah, alternatively, you could P-Wing this level and then clip 7-6, but, you know, if you're planning to do fire for this run, it makes 7-8 strange, so definitely want to have the tail.
Looks like Stewie's going to be doing 7-8 first, so to run through the rest of the level with the star, you know, as is pretty commonly done in 100%. Or is he going to go down the pipe and go for the hammer suit? Ooh, looks like he didn't get a clean entry with the P-speed, so he doesn't get the quick grab, but he'll still be able to take a safe approach and end the level, you know, with the power-up intact. So takes out the two Patuis, the Piranha, and we're out of here. Up on that platform because the hammer suit's shell is fire resistant.
Let's see if they.
So he's gonna going for the 7-7 clip. How many times he decides to go for it? Yeah, he's just gonna go for no more than 4 tries because yeah, unless you get it within your first 7 tries, you're not saving any time over just doing the level normally anymore. But if Stewie was able to get it on his first try, that would save him about 17 seconds.
Imagine getting it first try.
I actually did get a run that had it first try. That was my one and only goal in World 7, but then that run ended up dying in the latter half of World 8, so I ended up tying my PB in the end.
Dang. I've never gotten it first try in a run. That's dope. I've gotten it second try a couple times, but yeah, it hates me. I don't know why. Alright, 2 out of 3 for the first 2 clips. Okay, 3 out of 4? Oh, dude, the baby jail every time. Oh, come on. Oh,
still on a pretty
baby
decent
jail.
pace.
Why?
The...
Oh my god. All
okay,
right,
that's
3 out of 8.
not the end
so
of the
he
world.
broke about even.
8 for 4, that's a little bit slower than just doing the maze path normally, but he's pretty close to breaking even. It's no biggie. So let's see if he's able to do the hammer strats here. Sniping out the Boo and the Piranha, and he's going to take the safe approach, you know, just doing the star to build P-speed and then just run to the exit.
Yeah, didn't go for the big baller strats.
So it looks like Stewie's taking ooh, no! He tried to go for the Karua strat by doing a faster turn back and then just duck sliding underneath. Yeah, conventionally with the hammer suit, you want to shoot the hammers at a very specific spot on the floor, and then take out the second dry bones, and then that would be a much safer passage. Stewie's definitely used to doing 5 strats.
He was not committed to that at all. He was like, yeah, I'll just like take a meme attempt at it.
I think that's perfectly reasonable, especially when you're in a marathon setting.
Yeah, I think he's like, man, I died in an auto-scroller already. Just get me out. I've been there, man. I know how that feels.
I know you have. You even clipped into the pipe and then just jumped out of it like 2 times.
Yeah, no, that was the other thing too. I was gonna take like 5 attempts at the clip, right? And I didn't expect to actually get it, because like, when do I actually clip, 7-7 within like 5 attempts? And sure enough, I get it like 4th try, and then I jumped out because I was just doing it for the people, and then planning to play the level. Because I was worried about meeting estimate. This game's got a cruel sense of humor, unfortunately. Going with the tiny boy strats here.
I think Stewie just had to grab 1 power-up from the World 7 airship, so I'm pretty sure he knows what pattern he's going to get for the Ludwig fight, so I think we might see a fire kill on his end.
I hate this boss. I'd never go for it.
Yeah, I hate him too. I don't even know anything about the Ludwig fire kill patterns because I'm so used to just getting it to this point with the hammer suit.
Yeah, I use a new strat, and it seems to help a lot, or at least make it a lot less risky in general. But yeah, I went for it at AGDQ because I was upset with how 7-8 went, to be honest. That's the only reason. So yeah, Stewie actually got a nice one-shot there as a flat one, so he does get a fire kill. Saves a little bit of time there.
Shot 2 fireballs into him before doing the stomp, so he had to take another shot at him with the second stomp. But it still saves a little bit of time, I think.
Yeah, normally it'd be at 150, so 152, you probably saved a second.
Yeah.
And get your resident sleepers ready. It's time for World 8.
There's not really going to be too much going on in the first tank level. Kind of similar to the super tank right before Bowser's Castle. You could pretty much just get away with standing in the front and then just jumping and shooting whenever you need to. But I suppose it's worth noting that you can do a lag reduction strat with the bombs in the midway through this tank section. So you could just bump them against each other, and then you can avoid having a bunch of explosions go off at once.
This was such a weird design decision to me, because you have the longest auto-scroller in the game, you have the cutscene, and then you immediately get 2 more auto-scrollers. It's like 5+ minutes of just, not much action. I mean, these are tough, when you're playing through casually, because you just don't know what's happening or what's going to come up next. But yeah, it's strange that they, had some sort of rhythm to most of the game, and then here they're just like, and none.
I kind of like the design decision, just from I guess it's mostly because I grew up with the game, so I'm kind of accustomed to it. It's not really something I think about too much. But I think that, with all the Doom shit music going on and the black background, it kind of adds to the dramatic effect, as you're getting to the end of the game.
Yeah, honestly, I think if they designed this differently, 8-1 would have been significantly easier. I think the only reason 8-1's hard is because you play basically 6 consecutive minutes of, auto-scrollers, right, between this and the fast airship, and then you finally play an actual level again. Because in reality, I mean, 8-1, it's not the easiest level, but technically it's not even one of the... I wouldn't even say it's one of the 5 most challenging. I don't even know if it's one of the 10 most challenging levels.
It's definitely easy to say that it's one of the easier levels just from a speedrunning perspective, but it definitely gave me a hard time as a kid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, because there's bullets everywhere, and which you normally skip when you do speed strats, because you're just moving through it so quickly, you don't have to worry about them.
If I didn't have a P-Wing just to fly over, more than half of the level, I would want to at least play one of the hand levels so I have belief as a safety measure, making my way past those bullet bills.
Yeah, Stewie's nearing the end of the auto-scroller section here. I want you guys to guess how many hand animations he's going to get. So he does have to play all 3 of the hands, but if he doesn't get a hand animation, that's a 1.5 second time save for each one he doesn't get. So let me know what you guys think.
Stewie's doing some boat swag to see if he can get some no hands. Ooh, Rupert got Wrangless. Nice. So yeah, he didn't have to wait for the... so the Boomerang Bro didn't throw the boomerang, so he was able to save about 2 seconds, not having to wait for, you know, the Rang to leave the screen, so he grabbed the chest.
Alright, he's got 1. First hand, always.
Of course. I'll call it the 99% hand for a reason. No reason out of it.
The no hands manipulation strat for 100% is just beyond world record pace, by the way. Alright, he's got 2. I think like 5 of the last 6 runs on world record pace got no hands.
So yeah, because in 100% you have to play all 3 hand traps anyway, the most time you can lose to RNG is just the hand animations themselves. So each animation is 1.5 seconds, so if you get all 3 pulls, then you know you lost 4.5. So not really as much of a swing as it would be in Warpless, but you know if you're already playing against a really tight PB, it could definitely make a small difference. Just enough to put you over.
The number is 2, apparently, for him. So how about Rupert? Get your guesses in for Rupert. Quick, go, fast.
I'm just gonna go with 0 by default because I wish everybody well.
Well, that's guaranteeing the first hand. Okay, I'm wrong. I like how people are guessing like 5 and 7. Apparently Rupert's gonna die like 4 times in a hand. Alright, he's got 1.
Hang on, I was just about to say he had the Teak's Blessing. But I think apparently my karma ran out in March.
And because it's a completely fair video game, obviously he gets 2. Even though he did get Wrangless.
Alright, so Stewie's not going to be going into A1 with the safety star, so he's going to snipe out these Koopas along the way. He's going to build some P-speed. Oh, he rubs the bullet bill turret, but he still managed to get through there.
Yeah, that was a good recovery, and nice job getting the early P-speed there, and also nice job having the proper coin count.
I didn't even catch that either.
He's had a good amount of coins for a while. He should have taken the sands just to ensure he could keep it for the rest of the game.
Oh no! Undershot that no block.
Yeah, it looked like he missed the A press on it, didn't it? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Look at this. Look at this thing.
So he's taking the sands of Haxer. Seconds there, but yeah, I think that after knowing that he's not going to want to deal with the Angry Sun without a Fire Flower, might as well just say.
Pretty much. The sands of winning right there.
So Stewie can pretty much just damage boost through here out of the tail since he's going to pick up a Fire Flower here anyway. So we'll see how he decides to handle the rest of this fort. He's going to run along the conveyor belt and try to build early P-speed. He's trying. And he gets it. So that'll save him a couple frames as he's making his way past the P-switch. to reach the conveyor belt where the spike bed stealing is. So, okay. Able to outrun the P-switch timer and then just kind of hang in there for about a couple frames. To maintain some P-speed going up the hill, but I think he bonked one of the inclines. But that's okay. He still got through the very strong. Didn't have to deal with the angry sun. Was able to gain a little time back.
So yeah, he doesn't want to lose this flower at this point. There's no other opportunity for him to grab this power up again, so he does want to have it for Bowser.
Can't remember. Did Rupert pick up the hammer suit in World 6? Because I know that's a common strategy that he uses in his All-Stars runs.
I don't remember seeing it. I think he went straight from 6.5 to 6.6. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just skipped it in this case, particularly since he died in you know, the couple auto-scrollers. One was obviously intentional. And the other thing is, you know, the fire kill in All-Stars is kind of weird too, so.
It's true.
Whereas, yeah, in this one, it's more consistent, I guess. Although, actually, if you could do the All-Stars fire kill in this version of the game, it's more consistent because you don't have to worry about the trolley Bowser pattern.
So Super Tank takes about a minute 15 seconds to finish, and then when you're going through Bowser's Castle with the Fire Flower, it'll take anywhere from 56 to 58 seconds, depending on if you get the clip or not. So we're on pace to be finishing off with just a little bit over 2 hours. So I would say they both had a very successful run, so very nicely done. Ooh, he gets the elevator clip, very nice.
Does save him a second and a half there, so. And he
gets...
didn't immediately lose it on the 1-up, so.
He's definitely on pace to be finishing off with an in-game timer of 366 if he has a good Bowser fight. 365. Alright, so let's hope for a good Bowser pattern. Hopefully he doesn't get jebaited with the inevitable damage. And he's good, he's out of here.
And he just comes in under 2 hours too, so. Should be 1:59:58 coming out from Stewie.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs out for Stewie.
Oh, 57.
2 hours.
Okay.
I actually didn't expect that. It was going to be like hours and 2 seconds or something. With each other, despite, you know, a couple of mishaps that happened over the course of SWB3. Yeah, this has been a really awesome race, so huge congratulations to both Stewie and Rupert on a job well done.
Yeah, this is pretty close for a race of this length too, so they're going to be within about a minute of each other here. Nice stuff. Yeah, it'll be just over a minute, and Rupert showing off Bowser's lingering hitbox there.
He's trying to go for the 7-7 clip against that floor tile.
I've gotten it before he does like the stomp animation at the end, and it pops you out of it. Oops.
They're roughly about a minute apart, and like you said, for a 2-hour marathon run, they did a fantastic job. So everybody, once again, get your GGs out for both Stewie and Rupert.
So yeah, that is it for us here. I think we have Shiny Zenny next. Is that who's next, or is it?
I believe
I
believe Zost is next with Super Metroid.
Oh, it's Zost. Okay. They're just doing commentary. Okay, cool. So yeah, definitely stick around, and we'll see whether, you know, save or kill ends up winning here.
I'm really glad that both of these runners were able to showcase the skills in the Mario community, and it's been a pleasure to cook on with you, Haxer. So yeah, big shout outs to SpeedGaming and the wonderful cause that they're supporting. And yeah, looking forward to the next run. Hope everyone has a great night and a great weekend.
Absolutely. Have a good one.